Welcome to the Blue Ridge Community Report. My name is Tom Freeman, Regional Manager for Blue Ridge Communications. This program features our friends, neighbors, and organizations that make our community a special place to live, work, and raise our families. I hope you enjoy this week's report.
Hi, I'm Jamie Morrow. I'm the owner of JGM Coach in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, an entertainer coach company that run rock bands, country bands, and some sporting teams. It kind of started back around 2003-ish. I've always played music. I've always toured. Well, actually my senior year, I started touring on the weekends, and it kind of progressed from there. I was always intrigued by obviously other bands that had buses. I mean, when you were in the rock and roll business, buses were a big deal. That's what you strive to get. So early on with the group that I played in, I took a bus, an old seated coach, and bought it cheap, ripped the seats out of it, and converted it into what we have now. I ended up selling it for way more than I had into it, and that gave me some money that I could put a deposit on a nicer coach. In that time from us touring the eastern region, I ran into a few people that asked me if I'd ever been interested in leasing the bus. It intrigued me, and I got to the point to where I purchased a coach that was the level that I could lease out. But I gave it to a company in Nashville that managed it for me. It went well for about a year. They were paying me. Then all of a sudden, things went south real quick. And at that time, I had two buses then. I went from one to two. So I went to Nashville, and I brought them home. So here I was with two buses sitting in my parking lot and no idea how I was going to make the payments on them because I didn't know how to lease them. This guy was doing it for me. So I called a guy in the business that I knew could give me some direction. And at that time I thought, because I was very naive, I thought I had to be in Nashville. That's where I needed to be with the buses to be successful. Well, I called a guy out of Florida that owned a company there, and he said to me, the last place you want to go is Nashville because the majority of entertainer coaches are all in Nashville. He says, you're in the best location you could be. You're very close to New York City. He said, if I was you, he said, you've played music your whole life. You know how to contact management people. You know how to book shows. It's the same thing in the bus business. He says, you just need to start contacting managers and try to book your buses as if you were trying to book your band. And I said, well, that's right. So that's what I did. Within a month, I had the two buses out on tour, and things just progressed from there. This community of the entertainer bus business is really not that big. I would say there's probably 900 coaches of the typical coaches that we have in the industry, in which they can be gone quick. In the summertime, there's not enough buses to cover what we do. I mean, you take some of the big tours, they might take 15 buses, 20 buses just for one tour. So you figure you got 10 or 12 tours, the buses go quick. And once the word of mouth gets out in this business, it's real easy to keep busy because you might have one band that a tour manager for that band might work with multiple bands. So if he likes you, likes your buses, he's going to keep you and go with every band he does, he's going to keep using JGM Coach. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And probably around 2006, I was like, I'm not going to ever have any more than 5 buses. Well, now we're up to 14. We're running 14 coaches. My brother owns 3 of them, and he works here in the shop. I got another guy named Daniel Soslowski that runs my shop, and he owns 1 of the buses. So out of the 14, my brother owns 3, Daniel owns 1, and then I own the rest. But it's a total group effort.
I'm Jeff Morrow. Jamie's brother, and I own 3 of the buses, and I'm mainly the underneath guy. So usually when a bus pulls in here, the first thing I do is get down here in the hole, in the pit, and check everything out. One of the first things I do is check out the drive line here, make sure everything's tight and grease it, check the brakes, the rotors, check the rear end, the differential, the transmission, make sure if it needs the oil change, if there's any leaks anywhere, just mainly kind of look over everything from underneath. We get a lot of miles accumulated on these buses a year, so it's definitely a lot more maintenance. And plus they're not in, a bus could be gone for 6 weeks at a time. So when we do get it in, we like to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure there's no problem. So when it goes out, the last thing we want it to do is have to go to a shop out there. It saves us a lot of money to do it ourselves. So it's a big deal to get everything done while it's in here.
My name's Jason Green. I'm a mechanic here at JGM Coach. Before I worked on buses, I worked on tractor trailers. There's a lot more creature comforts on a bus than there are tractor trailers. All the buses have generators as well as air conditioning units. There's a lot more in-depth wiring involved, a lot of electrical circuits on these buses. That's a whole nother aspect of the maintenance for us as mechanics.
I am Daniel Swazlowski. Most of these guys around here call me Swiss. I am the shop manager and kind of lead driver for JGM Coach, which basically means I keep all the buses coming in and out on their maintenance schedule on time. And I take all the fun late night phone calls when our buses break down, try and make sure they get repaired in a timely manner and get to where they're going so our clients are nice and happy and don't lose any of their revenue on, being late or missing shows. Been in the music industry for about 17 years. Then over the years just kind of started working for bands so I could actually pay my bills. Then slowly worked into driving bands and got my CDL. Then used to work for a company that wasn't the best in the world, but it was a good way to get introduced in the buses. Then I met Jamie along the road on one tour that he was actually out on. And he saw the amount of maintenance I was doing on my bus to make sure to keep going and make it to, the next show. So, he offered me a job after my contract was up with those tours I was finishing up with that company. And it's probably about 2011 I moved out this way and started working for Jamie. I've been pretty much here ever since and slowly just took on more responsibilities with the company. And probably about almost a year ago now, took the big plunge to actually buy my own bus and became an invested partner in the company. So now I'm stressed out all the time worrying about if my bus is going to be the one that breaks down in the middle of the night that I get the phone call for.
I'm Sandra Clemens. I am Jamie and Jeff Morrow's mother, and I've worked for Jamie for quite a while now. A lot of my responsibilities are when a bus comes in, we go in and start cleaning it, and we want the company to look really good. So it's very important that the buses are clean. I take a lot of pride when we get done. I always enjoy going out and watching as they're leaving because they're really clean, nice inside. They look beautiful on the outside. And it really makes you feel proud that you're representing his company.
A lot of people don't understand how much work behind the scenes goes into these buses. They just see a big fancy coach all shined up. And I think drivers too that want to get into this business, again, they see a big fancy bus, they think they're going to hang out with the band, they're going to become friends with the band, which sometimes people become friends and that, but I think it's the total opposite of that. When drivers call me and want to get involved in being a driver, the first thing I do with them, I try to talk them out of it. I throw them for a loop. They hear me talk to them, I tell them the worst things that they're going to do and have to do to take care of the bus, on call basically 24/7 while they're on the road. It's a lot of work. It's nothing that you would think it is being a tour bus driver. But if you want to travel and you want to see the country, it's a good business to get in. As a driver, you can make a lot of money in this. And to me, I've taken some guys and they've became some of my top drivers. But they realize quick, it's not what they thought it was going to be. That it's a tough job being a bus driver. But drivers, to me, along with my mechanics and my shop people, is what makes a good tour for a band. Out of the 14 coaches that we run, 13 of them are considered 12-bunk coaches. Some of them have front slides. The bus I'm sitting on right here right now, this is a front slide, 12-bunk coach with a shower. We have not completed a coach from scratch, but what we've found for our niche and the clientele that we have, where we can still utilize the front lounge the way it exists, but what we'll do is from the front lounge, the first door here, is we'll gut the entire coach. Whatever built in it, we'll take it out and we'll build 12 bunks in it and a rear lounge. We've done that on 3 of our coaches that we have in our fleet now. And it's worked out well for us. I think a lot of confusion that I get here locally in Wellsboro, for one, a lot of people don't even know that we're here, which is okay. And another thing is that once they do find out and they hear, oh, JGM has buses, they think of us as a seated bus. When somebody thinks of a bus, they think it's the bus that we took to New York City to the Broadway show, or we went to the casino. Totally opposite of what we are. Yes, it is a Prevost coach, but it doesn't have seating in it like you can carry 50-some passengers. Our coaches are basically designed to carry 12 people. They got 12 bunks, and it's very more like a house on wheels. A lot of bands that we carry, they'll live on this thing for 45, 50 days. If their tour's 50 days, they're on it for 50 days straight. I never thought that I'd be running a bus company carrying musicians around. I think if you just keep an open mind and be creative, work hard, that you can go and do things and be successful. You can do it without always doing what everybody thinks they have to do. I've been very fortunate, but it is a lot of hard work, and it took a lot of effort to get this to where it is today. It's kind of rolling now. I got a great group of people that work for me. It's definitely a team effort around here. It's just, you gotta put the work in, and the opportunities are there. If you do the work and strive to move forward, I promise you that you can be successful.
I am really proud of both Jamie and Jeff. They have really worked hard, and I am proud to be a part of it. And if I wasn't, I would miss it so much.
It's a small community, close-knit, it's beautiful. Now, as we join UPMC, it just opens a whole new world.
Together, UPMC and Susquehanna Health are bringing life-changing medicine to north central Pennsylvania.
UPMC brings extraordinary innovation to virtually every aspect of the work we do.
Exchanging ideas, sharing research, it's a tremendous opportunity to learn in real time with world-class experts.
Changing lives every day. UPMC Susquehanna.
Hi, my name's Charlie Earl with the Troy Skateland. I'm the current owner. I've had the privilege of having Troy Skateland for the past 16 years. Troy Skateland opened up in 1959. Back in the day, it was the Facebook of the time. Everyone would come to a Skateland, if not the Troy Skateland, for their social activity. My wife and I purchased it 16 years ago because we wanted to keep it going. We wanted the tradition of skating. We wanted the memories that kids could make. We wanted a place for parents to take their children, grandparents, and provide a good, safe atmosphere for the community. We draw from the surrounding areas pretty wide that people will come. We host a lot of birthday parties. It's a popular spot for that. We've had several sports over the years. Indoor soccer, we've had roller hockey. Currently, we offer street hockey. This is a league that meets every Sunday night to play street hockey. When my wife and I purchased it, it had already experienced two floods, the flood of 72 and 96. So there was water damage in the building that created a hazard or a not friendly environment for roller skating. The wooden floor, beautiful maple wooden floor, had gotten wavy. My wife and I investigated what we could do to help the floor without putting wood in, and we found this innovative product called Sport Court, which is used all over the world. It's plastic tiles that has a rubber underlay, and which is better for your joints. It's great for roller skating, roller hockey, and indoor soccer, so we thought that's what we would do. We installed that, and we're fortunate that we did because we were flooded again in 2011. If we hadn't have done the new floor, Troy Skateland probably would not be open again because the wood floor couldn't take it. The new floor floated with the water and then went back down, and it was very easy to clean up. So one of the other things that Patty and I added to Troy Skateland was a little higher end concession stand, in that we make our own pizza and wings at this location. We do a pretty good business with our to-go, We had a business uptown, Charlie's Family Food and Fun, for 10 years, and we decided to do something different. When we did that, we brought our equipment down, set up, and can now sell our pizza and wings here. The kids love them. They get pizza and wings, french fries, nachos, soft pretzels, so there's plenty for them to eat. Choice Gateland used to be open from 7 to 10. We expanded it to 5 to 11, which gives parents more of an opportunity if their child's age appropriate. They'll bring their children down, the parents have some time, and they have 5 hours that they can have a little getaway. We offer video games, ticket games, redemption games, prizes. So we have quite a bit to do at the Choice Gateland. Families actually come here. They'll have dinner, the kids will skate, and we will have couples that are able to have a conversation and catch up on old times. One of the things I enjoy the most about running the Choice Gateland is watching kids grow. When we first took over the Choice Gateland, we had a group of kids, and now 16 years later, they are bringing their kids, and it's neat to watch how they mature, they develop into productive people from being barely able to skate. So the Choice Gateland operates from September to June, every Friday night 5 to 10, and Saturday afternoons 2 to 4. We also have private parties available on Saturdays from 11:30 to 1:30 or 4:30 to 6:30, and we also offer parties on Sundays. We have a great birthday party package from the 2 to 4. A party of 10 can come in, they get a pizza, pitcher of soda, roller skates are included, and it's very reasonably priced. Very popular with a lot of moms because they don't have to clean their house before the party, they don't have to pick up after, nothing gets broke, parking is easy, the party has a start time and an end time, no children are dropped off early, no children are left to pick up later. So there's a lot of advantages to having a birthday party at the Choice Gateland.
It's a small community, close-knit, it's beautiful. Now, as we join UPMC, it just opens a whole new world.
Together, UPMC and Susquehanna Health are bringing life-changing medicine to north central Pennsylvania.
UPMC brings extraordinary innovation to virtually every aspect of the work we do.
Exchanging ideas, sharing research, it's a tremendous opportunity to learn in real time with world-class experts.
Changing lives every day. UPMC Susquehanna.
There's an awful lot of opportunities in aviation right now from all aspects.
The career field is really taking off. There's going to be a huge shortage of pilots, mechanics, pretty much anybody in the aviation field.
You could dig into this from the education perspective right now and start learning a career. See if there's a niche that you would like to follow.
That American Airlines were losing, I think, one pilot every 12 hours is retiring. So over half of our pilots have to retire in the next 7 years.
My involvement with the Canyon Pilots Association actually started as a member of the Canyon Country Ultralight Club. We started out helping with the fly-in breakfast that the Canyon Pilots Association was hosting. So I began to learn a little bit more about the Canyon Pilots Association and what their mission around the airport was and around the community. They started out with trying to promote aviation at the Wellsboro-Johnston Airport, but they also promoted safety in aviation. And as those fly-in breakfasts began to grow, we began to have some seed money that we thought we could probably interest some youth in aviation and some aviation education. And so we began with a couple scholarships. One student went to Embry-Riddle in Florida, and we helped offset some of that tuition. That student's actually gone on now and is a captain in an airline. And then we had another student we helped out with some scholarships while he was in a four-year college. So as that environment began to grow, we looked at what else can we do? How can we grow aviation locally and continue to support our youth? And we got the idea that we could do that through adding a flight simulator to the area. Flight simulator would do several things. It would help the local pilots and our members of the Canyon Pilots Association continue along the safety theme. You can really do things that you don't have to try and do in an airplane while sitting in a safe environment in front of a simulator. There was a couple of us that went out to Wisconsin to Oshkosh Air Venture, and we started evaluating these flight simulators in person to see what might fit our applications and what really might fit the students' needs as well as our pilots. So we came up with this Redbird flight simulator. Right now it's set up as a Cessna 172, but you can set it up as any aircraft. And it's also set up to fly right here at the Wellsboro-Johnston Airport. There was a fixed-based operator by the name of Richard Johnston. He was here since right after World War II and ran it for many years. And unfortunately, we lost him a number of years ago. But a lot of the folks in the area that knew him donated money to his memory. And this is the Richard C. Johnston Memorial Flight Simulator. So his spirit lives on, trying to promote aviation, continuing flight instruction, continuing with youth. So with that in mind, we started inviting several area high schools in. We've had over 100 sessions in the last year on this flight simulator. Now this is how far you're dropping per minute. That's 1,000 altitude. You're all right. Yeah, now you're still in good shape.
I'm Ben Barnett. I'm here today to try out the flight simulator and to learn more about a career in aviation. In the future, I'd like to try to join the Air Force and try to get my pilot's license in there. If not, have some instruction before then, and then from there, hopefully get my commercial pilot's license and do whatever that takes me to.
You're all right. There's lots of runway there. You don't have to land on your first part there.
Is it like supposed to be like our airport, runway 28?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. See the key in and out in here?
I'm Caitlin Kramer. I'm out here with a group of students learning how to use the flight simulator that was just recently bought. I'm currently taking flight lessons out at this airport. I really enjoy flying, and it's one of my favorite hobbies.
There you go. There you go. She's on the airport.
My name is Mike Petropola. I'm the principal at Raquel Butler Middle School, and we'd like to thank the airport for this opportunity to these students that can get an idea of what it's like to fly and check out some of the controls and different things in the airplanes. This has been a wonderful introduction to utilize the simulator. One of the big things that we need to do a better job of is educating our students on the opportunities in these different fields. One of the big things that we're dealing with right now is STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, and all these different fields that can be incorporated into jobs, and we need to start educating them on, and getting them out into the field in the airport is just one of those opportunities.
Get yourself another notch of flaps here. Slow yourself down just a little bit.
I'm Rachel Minard. I am the school counselor at Coudersport High School. This day was initially set up by Christy Steger, our business teacher, and she opened up this opportunity for students who would like to see the flight simulator here at the airport. As a school counselor, I know the importance of exposing students to a variety of career opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunity in the pilots and fields connected to it. I mean, it's you got anywhere from your controllers to your AMPs to guys working on them. I'm a farmer, so I'm in ag business, and I talk to a lot of guys who do spray. Well, we were just in Indiana on the way to Oshkosh, and there was 2 spray planes there, and we were talking about one guy was 62 and the other was 63. And these guys say, I said, well, but how about young pilots? He says, we hardly can find anybody.
My name is Ralph Wolstenholme. I've come over today to Wellsboro Johnson Airport to introduce some of our local students to our simulator. So we brought the kids out here, we showed them what the inside of the airplane looks like, talked about the control surfaces, and once again by looking into the aircraft they could see that the controls and things that are in the aircraft that they have right here behind me is also the same controls that we have on our simulator inside the terminal building.
What we're trying to do here is provide opportunities for our students that are a little bit different than what they've had in the past. I've been involved in education for the last 20 years and seen great changes. And what we're doing is providing our students with an opportunity to explore different careers, have different options for their future, and we are really excited to see where this is going. One of the examples would be the drone industry. That has become very popular and a very lucrative business. So students are able to actually have experience with the drones, have curriculum once that is completely developed by the AOPA, and the opportunity for students to graduate with a certificate in drone operation is very exciting. A few years ago, PDE gave us opportunities to bring career exploration into our high schools. So what we're trying to do is develop coursework that works and mirrors with industry. All of our students now are not just on an academic path, but it's career and college readiness. So this provides an avenue for our students to explore the career side. And what people don't understand is the career side often leads them to an educational side beyond. So this just starts their career exploration, and who knows where it will take them in the future. It may lead to a college degree, or it may lead right into the industry itself.
What this program is going to afford our students in Wellsboro is those opportunities to be able to obtain certifications and allow our students to get a lot of the groundwork completed before they leave school and have those opportunities on their own time, or through some scholarship funding potentially to operate some flight time with the instructors out at the airport.
I think this is a really great program. It would have really helped me because it would have been something I could do during school instead of an activity that I had to do outside by myself, because there's a lot of time and effort that you have to put into flying, and if people had the chance to do that in school, I think they would get more response to it.
We've worked with the Wellsboro High School in particular and the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, also known as AOPA, to get some curriculum into the high school, which this is their first year for doing that, and hopefully that will develop into a 4-year program. They have also made an application for grant money to American Airlines, and they have been successful at receiving a grant for that. So all of those kinds of things, the Canyon Pilots Association is trying to plant the seeds, start the environment where we can help grow and promote aviation, not only for our own pilots and for their safety, but for youth. Hopefully we can give them a format that they can make a decision, or at least have an option to consider a career in aviation, whether it's an ATC or traffic control, whether it's as a mechanic, or whether it's in the left seat of a major airline.
A lot of people don't realize that there's an airport in Wellsboro. For the longest time, people thought I went up to Elmira every day to do my flight lessons, and a program in our school would really make people realize that we do have an airport in Wellsboro, and this is a source that's very close to them. And if they would just take the time to look around, they could get involved in something really amazing.
As you will see throughout this program, there are many things that take place in our communities that you may never know about. Our friends, neighbors, and organizations often work behind the scenes to enhance the quality of life of those in our region. We've enjoyed showing you a few examples this week, and we hope you join us again for the Blue Ridge Community Report.